Alrighty guys, we're back for Dino Dominion, and this is an Edge of Eternities standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. This one's based around the Dominion Bracelet, 2 mana legendary artifact equipment, equipped for 1. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has, for 15 mana, exile the Dominion Bracelet. You control target opponent during their next turn. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is this creature's power, activate only as a sorcery. So you get this on a chunky enough creature, and that ability could be really cheap to just take control of the opponent's entire next turn, which is kind of a crazy ability. So how cheap can we actually get this in here? Well, the chunkiest of creatures is going to be the top end Ghalta, Primal Hunger, all 4 making the cut. Even though it's a legendary creature, it's a 12 mana 12/12 with trample. It costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. So honestly, in this deck list, we're hoping that this is just 2 green mana often, because we got a lot of other chunky creatures in here to make this a lot cheaper. So cards like Regal Imperiosaur, just a 3 mana 5/4. Okay, other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1. Beautiful stuff. How about Pugnacious Hammerskull, 3 mana 6/6. Does have a downside, unfortunately, right? But it's not a terrible downside when you're playing dinos. Whenever this creature attacks while you don't control a dino, you put a stun counter on it. So even if you don't control a dinosaur, it's still worth swinging in for 6 damage sometimes and just dealing with the stun counter. Got more top end dinos too. We got a couple Hulking Raptors, 4 mana 5/3 Ward 2. Never underestimate the power of Ward, guys. Actually, keeping the Raptor on the board for 1 extra turn is good stuff. So at the beginning of your first main phase, you add 2 green mana, which will come in handy. Got all 4 Agonasaur Rex here. It's a 5 mana 8/8 trample. It does have cycling for 2 and a green, and when you cycle this card, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature or vehicle. It gains trample and indestructible until end of turn. Good stuff. Actually, the cycling happens quite often, to the point where we could probably do some rearranging here for the curve and see what that looks like. Now we do have some ramp packed in. We have all 4 Intrepid Paleontologist, which works really well with dinos. Got all 4 Llanowar Elves and a couple of the Lorekeepers as well. Removal is important, guys. We got a Primal Might packed in here as our fight spell. We have a couple of Abrades too. There should be plenty of artifacts that we want to pick up, but also just 3 damage to target creature at instant speed will come in handy very, very often. Not the only thing we're splashing red in here for, though. Of course, we have all 4 Belligerent Yearlings. So 2 mana 3/2 trample, not bad. Whenever another dinosaur you control enters, you may have this creature's base power become equal to that creature's power until end of turn. So essentially, if you drop a Ghalta Primal Hunger, you can have the Yearling or 2 that you have on the board have 12 power all of a sudden. That seems pretty decent in a deck list that we have a lot of chunky dinos in, right? So in the mana base, we do have 23 total mana, which should be fine and dandy for how much early creature ramp we have in here. All 4 Stomping Grounds, all 4 Thornspire Verge, and a couple Fabled Passage ought to be fine and dandy to grab that one mountain, that one lowly mountain in the deck list, right? Over in the honorable mentions, this is important, guys. We don't have any card draw in here, and I think Garruk's Uprising could be excellent. So I'm actually just going to keep this in the sideboard in case we have to do like a mid-video revamp and add a couple of these or something. So, all right, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. Look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. Looks like we're getting right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? It should be super duper janky, but I'm still expecting some fun here, so let's see what we can get done. Great first hand. Yes. Yes, now we're talking. Yeah, I'm expecting it to be janky because it was pretty janky in all my test games. However, it's just so much fun playing big old chunky dinos. It really is. And it's a different type of dinos too, so instead of going for like the hasty route and the discover route and everything, Okay, Regal Imperiosaur. See if it survives the turn. The Hulking Raptor is going to be tempting, but I think we actually get Stomping Ground down tapped and go the other Imperiosaur. It depends what we draw, though. Okay, Llanowar Elves. Take the 2, establish the second Elves. Could be fine. Take the 2 for the Abrade, establish Elves. Hitting the Voice is pretty good here, too. Voice could be a problem in no time. So Sephiroth, though. I think we'll actually go Hulking Raptor. I'll keep this open. Let's see what they do with the swing here. A lot of options in hand for only 4 cards, guys. Yeah, I think they take the 5. Letting them keep the Voice is super sketchy, but I love that the Hulking Raptor is a 6/4 with Ward 2. That's going to ramp us into our entire hand next turn. So, yeah, also we could see more top-end dinos to ramp into off of it as well. They go for the swing. I'm going to take that block all day. Even if they have a really good combat trick, it'll be 2 cards for the price of our 1 Raptor, and we still have a fantastic hand here, right? I guess at that point, it's a raise the past deck list. Like, they don't mind the Voice of Victory being in the grave type of thing. Oh, nice. Get a couple surveils here. I see. That's worth it. That was probably worth the swing. They send Infestation Sage. We definitely have to win before their turn 4, guys. Or before they find their 4th mana, I should say. We have a good chump blocker, but we can hit the Zealot with the Abrade. Wow, Primal Might has got to be one of the best top decks here, right? Holy cow. All right, let's get the Imperiosaur down. I guess Abrade does something similar, but this boosts... Yeah, since we had lethal either way... Still, this is very cool. No, we don't have lethal either way. 1, 2... Wait, I'm miscounting. I'm sorry, guys. 13. Okay. Right. Now we have lethal either way. So the Primal Might is the reason we got the 15 damage on the board. Holy cow, dude. Right. Well. Okay, then. Case made for the Primal Might, huh? Wow. That was something else. I mean, no matter what there, even if we would have missed the lethal damage that turn, the opponent would have been stuck between a rock and a hard place. A rock and a dinosaur, right? So yeah. Until they actually got their 4th for the Raise the Past, if they could have hit some insane life gain off the Raise the Past or something, with a Hinterland Sanctifier on the board or 2, right? That could have pulled them back. I'd say showing the significance of ramp in that last game as well. Dominion Bracelet in hand. Yeah, that's what you like to see. We go first too. Yep, this is great. This is fantastic, dude. Something I noticed in the test games, it confused me at first, so I was trying to figure out how to activate the ability on the bracelet. This is important, guys. The creature has the ability, not the bracelet. So yeah, it's 15. You pay 15, but you like click on the creature. Hopefully we can showcase that today. I will gladly pay the 2 for the Lorekeeper, and hopefully it sticks around for the turn. See what the opponent does here. It's a forest and Llanowar Elves? No. Main phase 2 Llanowar Elves? No, actually. Wow. All right. Imperiosaur, but we stay on task here with the Hammerskull. Does get Ghalta down to 5. Not quite there yet. It's probably Imperiosaur next turn with the tapped land. Fabled Passage. If we see an untapped source, then Lorekeeper could die. Or is Lorekeepers allowed to die, is what I mean there. Yeah, establishing Hammerskull before Imperiosaur means Imperiosaur can come down being the Dino, so that way Hammerskull can swing as a 7/7. The other way around, we'd still have to wait that extra turn for the Hammerskull. FIFA! Wow, I'm actually really shocked that they missed the turn 1 Llanowar Elves, because that seems to happen every time sometimes. Alright, we stay on target. We get the Regal Imperiosaur down. Get a great swing. We hope we don't die to Tifa next turn. That'd make me very sad. It'd be a really good turn for the opponent if they can pull that off and get around our Imperiosaur somehow. Spring Blossom Druid doesn't get him there. Traveling Chocobo's good. Got good blockers and everything. Alright, activate Fabled Passage. We grab a green source here for sure. We don't need that one mountain on the board. Llanowar Elves is good. So you use Lorekeeper, get the Ghalta down, establish the Dominion Bracelet, save blockers, try to win next turn, or we got 12 on the board. If we go for full swing, we could try to win with the Agonasaur Rex boost. They probably chump. Well, I guess we'll just try to win with the boost first, because we got just this huge chunk of damage. Nice. Okay, that works, I guess. I'm a little sad that we didn't get Dominion Bracelet on the board and whatnot, but yeah. Now, if they would have actually hit their Llanowar Elves turn 1, I do think that could have been a much different game, for real. Because we didn't have removal for early anything. Alright, guys, wow, I'm standing by it. I'm pretty positive that this is a janky deck list, so yeah, I'm standing by it. This should be jank, for sure. Now, hopefully we can actually do something with this Dominion Bracelet today, because that is kind of the main build around. It'd be really nice to showcase, but at the same time, if we just showcase the other everything of the deck, that's fine too. All right, yeah, why not? I'll just keep anything at this point, right? Just to see what happens. I mean, double Imperiosaur into Ghalta is actually really good, but the odds of creatures surviving should be pretty low in the current standard. Oh, nice. I'll hide the fact that we have red in here from the opponent, even though it doesn't matter too much. Who's Llanowar Elf? No, it's gonna survive the turn. I'll go for the swing on the elf then. See what they do. Nothing. It's not sticking. Does that mean Imperiosaur survives? It does. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. I'm a little bit afraid of Reanimator. Oh, Yearling's good. So we do have Imperiosaur Ghalta for 2 if... But Yearling on the board is... Yeah, who am I kidding, huh? We get that Ghalta down. Yearling on the board established could be really cool. Okay, there we go. I mean, it wasn't spot removal last turn, so... Come on down, Ghalta number 1. Oh, man. It's a 14-14. Goodbye, Ghalta. Goodbye. 3 mana for Feed the Cycle. Okay. Yeah, Feed the Cycle. Keep your eye on this, man. I like this. I like this removal piece a lot. For a deck list that cares about things in the grave and whatnot, or puts things into the grave. They do reanimate the Vein Ripper, which is terrifying business. Wow, Agonasaur Rex is such a good draw. Holy cow, dude. Wow. They could just have more next turn. They're going to gain some life here. I'd love to establish the Yearling this turn too and try to get a swing once we get Ghalta down. Swing with the Imperiosaurs. They say I accept this trade. I say I do not accept this trade. Get some extra damage through. They do gain the 2 though, from the death of the Vein Ripper. So they're back up to 6. And then we have this decision where we could get Yearling, try Ghalta next. Actually, that's exactly what we do, right? Because if we just play Ghalta, it's probably just more spot removal. But with Yearling, it's kind of like Ghalta has haste, kind of, sort of, even though not really, right? Velgavoth's Faithful. Velgavoth's Faithful? Wait, why not activate ability, right? Aw, GG opponent. Yeah, just big old chunky dinos. I don't know what's happening right now, guys. I guess it was just time for some victories, right? Maybe it's way better than I'm thinking, too. I don't know. That could have been an awesome game as well, to have the Dominion Bracelet. I think we actually could have pulled it off that game, maybe, if the opponent didn't concede at the end, of course. But we also would have just pulled it off with a big old chunky swing. Kind of being like Dominion Bracelet right now in these early games would have just been overkill. But usually I feel like our creatures just are going to struggle a little bit more on the board state and everything. Okay, here we go. So this is one where we might get punished with excess mana or seeing more ramp pieces off the top. We give it a shot. We see what happens here. Or we might get punished by not finding dinos for Hammerskull. Maybe that slows it down a little bit. They pay 2. Wow. Llanowar Elves is out of the equation. So yep, we'll go Paleontologist then. So I was thinking Fabled Passage, deck, then Lorekeeper, but I don't know if that's necessary right now. Just establish Paleontologist instead with the open mana. The Seal and Siren. Abrade is decent. Maybe it is. Maybe we do actually deck thin for the turn then and get the Hammerskull down. We don't plan on blocking with Paleontologist anyways. However, we could dump our Fool Hand, which is maybe a little better than the deck thinning. If we see more mana off the top, though, this is not going to be a great game. So maybe deck thinning for the turn, but dumping hand seems okay against Dimir tempo. They can swing with the Cecile. I guess they don't want that trade into the Hammerskull. Maybe they don't want the damage off of the Cecile, right? Kaito, nice. And probably go for the Surveil and draw for the turn then. Just in time to save the day. No, they're gonna tap down the Hammerskull. Nice. We do see more ramp pieces, so this is kind of what I meant, right? If we see too many ramp pieces, too much land, then the balance is gonna just not be there. So we do have Abrade. Let's use the Fabled Passage now. Let's go grab the mountain. And I think it's totally worthwhile going Abrade on Cecile and then swinging at the Kaito. It's good. It's really good, actually. Get that off the board. Swing at Kaito, swing at face. We have 2 open to pick up a Dino or pick up something out of their grave, but we probably don't need to do that. Let's just play the other Llanowar Elves. It's like I said, against Dimir tempo, not terrible to go wide, just dump your hand. But also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total mana if our ramp pieces stick around. Could play anything off the top end, including Ghalta, because Hammerskull is still on the board and everything. Ooh, Fabled Passage. Okay, not great. Wonder if the opponent takes any of these trades. Soulstone Sanctuary is not open. I accept some of these trades. Let's see if the opponent does. The Flash might be the Drowner, right? That would trade into... No, Tidebinder. That does trade into Paleontologist. Yeah, that's worthwhile, probably. But they probably just go onto the one of the 1/1s though. And they don't want the trade, they want Tidebinder around. I mean, we get 3 through. A worthwhile swing, I would say. And we definitely want to do Fabled Passage for more deck thinning, because we need our top end. Period. Yeah, with all this early creature ramp, you guys can definitely see why I landed on 23 mana. Even though we have so much top end, or so many turns where you might want to do 2-3 drops on the same turn type of thing, right? Getting to 6 mana. But in this deck list, it's just not unheard of to have that 6 total mana once you have your 4th land or something, so... And getting your 4th land with 23 mana is not bad at all. We go map token onto Spyglass Siren, see what they find here. They find a Tragic Trajectory off the top. They do keep it. Tidebinder, get a little boost. A great swing. I'm gonna go ahead and just pop the Fabled Passage now because it's not affecting anything. So let's get rid of that forest. It's not like we can grab a second mountain. No dinos in the grave. Let's grab their Kaito. Yeah, that's probably okay. I don't know what Dimir Tempo would have that cares right now, but I kind of feel like we should exile some things. Let's Cecile next, I suppose. We got the open mana for it, so. Ooh, Hammerskull, really good. Now the first Hammerskull doesn't get the stun counter unless it's a Drowner from hand, right? Let's see what happens here. It is going to be the Flood Pitch Drowner. Crap, guys. Okay. Well, at least we have the second Hammerskull open. Problem is they're going to use the Drowner ability. It'd still be worth the full swing. Maybe we get to keep the Hammerskull around then. Nope, not worth the trade into Paleontologist because they do have generic spot removal in there. I think we just cheese this one damage through. And I do think they would take that trade into the Paleontologist, because then they could just pop the Hammerskull that doesn't have the stun counter and not worry about Paleontologist ability, which might be the only ability that can keep us in this, if they do start finding their generic spot removal. Tragic Trajectory. Alright, we'll still use the ability, though. We'll still clean up a little bit out of their grave. I guess the first Tragic Trajectory is fine. Totally fine. Now, a third Tragic Trajectory from the opponent would hit for -10, -10. It does clean up the other Hammerskull, which is scary. They swing in the air. Surprised they're not going to activate this Flood Pitch Drowner ability, right? Oh, Kaito number 2. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. That is really bad news. Kaito provides so much value, they tap down the other Hammerskull, and we're in danger. As we find more mana off the top, no swing with the Lorekeeper, Kaito powers up. It can swing and do the same thing, but honestly, they probably just go for the Surveil. And the card draw after the swing. So this being tapped land is great news. If it was untapped, I do think it would have been worthwhile to power up the Sanctuary for a nice full swing from the opponent, because we're at 8. Actually, that would have been game. Block the Tidebinder. 8 would have gotten through. Yeah. Wow. We got lucky that that was tapped land. At this point, guys, we might as well just take the 7. We could take the chump while we have the chump, or it just doesn't, it doesn't really matter, right? Going down to 1 is a similar concept here. And if for some reason they have 1 extra damage for the turn with this 1 card we don't know about, then it's fine. It's okay. Yeah, keeping that extra 1 could be important if we find like our Cycling Dino, for example. That doesn't get us there though, right? That only leaves 9 damage when they're at 10. They still have the Flood Pitch Drowner too. They might want to I don't know what they want to do. So this does have Vigilance, so they could have swung with that. So that tells us that they didn't accept the trade into Lorekeeper. They're going to go Kaito, 2 stun counters on the other Hammerskull, get the Spyglass Siren back down, so that can fly in the air and win next turn regardless. Even so, none of our dinos are actually untapping here. They do get the Flood Pit Drowner above the trade into the Lorekeeper for next turn as well. And Paleontologist, not terrible. If I would have taken the trade while I had it, we still would have just been down to 5. And then we would have only had Paleontologist as a blocker. I guess maybe we could have survived 1 extra turn. Did I see the opponent drop a GG? Yeah, good game, opponent. Yeah, I think that's what I saw up there. Power up the Restless Reef. Oh yeah, we would have been super dead regardless. We'll still take the blocks while we have the blocks. Aha! Dino in the grave! Dino in the grave! Everybody panic! Scoop up the dinos! I can play the dinos until next turn. No, I won't waste the opponent's time. That's funny. Paleontologist's ability is actually no joke, right? Because when we have so many, like, 3-drop dinos, it's actually just really good once you get to your 5th mana. Be able to bring some of those 3-drops back. You don't even need your 5th mana, right? The Paleontologist ability doesn't have to happen on the same turn as you recast the dino, correct? So, come on guys, let's keep the ball rolling. Let's see that Dominion Bracelet today too. As well, I have you here in the middle of the video. Make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. And then also the YouTube side of things. If you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. If you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you, thank you. Dominion Bracelet and Ghalta. Hi there, buddies, but now no ramp, right? So 2 games in a row seeing the opposite side of the equation for the deck list. We're going to try it for sure. If we find some of our ramp pieces, this could be the game where we pull off the bracelet. If we miss the ramp pieces, if we miss the mana, worst hand of the evening. So we'll see. Oh, my bracelet! Oh, opponent! My feelings, opponent. It's okay, we have another bracelet in the deck list. 3-drop is the correct play here. It's the closest thing in hand. So Imperiosaur is a goner. Wow, Hulking Raptor. They must be afraid of the word too. I'm pretty surprised by that, guys. I am. Yeah, they must fear the ward 2 here. Unstoppable Slasher. Hammerskull trade over Imperiosaur trade is probably a little better. They don't know we have Hammerskull in hand, though. Yeah, Hammerskull. Hammerskull trade better than the Imperiosaur trade. And then also, if they don't have the combo, maybe we just take the damage, leave the Hammerskull around. I think Hammerskull might not survive the turn anyways. Bitter Triumph. That does mean that we don't die this turn, though. Down to 8. Scary stuff, man. Another Ghalta? Yeah, not the greatest. Let's see if Imperiosaur survives. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Feed the swarm. Nice. Alright, down to 2. Abrade. Hey! That's not bad. I'll keep it open for their turn. Yeah, that's not a bad draw at all. Speaking of Abrade, where's all the synthesizer builds this week, guys? That was like all I saw every other game for a couple weeks in a row, and now they're just gone. Must be in higher ranks at this point. There's the Bloodletter. All right, they go for this swing, and they win no matter what, unfortunately. So we'll still do the 3 damage to the Slasher, and then drop the opponent the GG. Got 2 games, 2 different sides of the deck list. And we're really showcasing the jank side, right? Like I said, I'm positive it's jank, but we were getting so many fantastic victories. It was weird. I guess that being said, at least the deck list is capable of victories, right? At least we'll still pull them off every now and then just with big old chunky dinos. But come on, man. It's called Dino Dominion. We got to see this Dominion Bracelet. Can't let you guys down. Got to be here somewhere. Right? Right, guys? And it's not going to get hit by duress this time. Oh, but I got to keep this. And again, none of the early ramp. We got 10 early ramp pieces in the deck list, and when you see your initial hand, you're seeing the top 7 cards. So I would say it's very likely to see at least 1 ramp piece in your opening hand. Still, this is a worthwhile keep. Let's see if at the very least, even if we don't see Dominion Bracelet, let's see if we can end on a high note. Hey, there's a ramp piece. Awesome. Yeah, we do that too over the Yearling. Even though we're curving really nicely. It's a bunny corn. Let's go, opponent. All right. Yep. Even though there's a chance of getting picked up by Sheltered by Ghosts, we'll still go Paleontologist, or with Warden, Glass Casket is available, and oh, nice. Paleontologist survives, and it's just a bunny corn swing for the turn. That's good news. Primal Might's really good here. It does help us actually fight the bunnycorn, but I think I'm just gonna ramp. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right, guys? Right? Bunnycorn can't run away with the game. Let's go for the ramp on the Hulking Raptor, see what the opponent gets up to over there. Fourth mana is a little scary. They could have the ward 2 here. They do. They do pay the ward 2, do 3 damage to the raptor. They have a great full swing here. Down to 9. Uh-oh. Of course, the case there is solved, so it does boost their wide board state too. Fighting the bunnycorn is no longer available to us. No, we do have it available off of Hammerskull. Number 1, we want to do some deck thinning with the Fabled Passage. I'd say these 2 Fabled Passages have been really good in here, right? We can grab a forest without any worries. Now we get the Hammerskull down. And then we go X's 2 on Primal Might. Make sure the bunnycorn doesn't obliterate us next turn. No, X is 1 on Primal Might is total. No, X is 0. Yeah, X is 0 on Primal Might to keep the Paleontologist untapped too. Overdoing it for no reason, right? Yeah, there we go. And no attacks. We're in danger, like a lot of danger. So I think it's all too easy to play some more removal, get that Warden in the air and stuff. Oh, buddy. Oh, we still have 5 mana, so the target from hand is Stomping Ground. Yep. Yeah, we don't want to pay the 2 for Stomping Ground just to play 2 3-drops, right? So if we target Yearling or something, so it's Stomping Ground for sure. They boost the Warden, and then they might as well do it again if they think they can survive the turn. 5th mana for the opponent. They got 1 card remaining in hand. Cool deck list, opponent. Really cool. I like it. Hammerskull locking down the board for a second. That's great news. Abrade. Wow. That's good. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, that's good. Activate only as a sorcery for the Warden ability. Number 1, we can get the tapped land down. That's funny. You could still pay the 2, apparently. Yeah, no. Enters tapped. Totally fine. So, Imperiosaur. We definitely need to pick up the Warden. Zenith is a problem. I'd love to get the Yearling down as well, but it's got to be the Imperiosaur. Yearling not doing nearly as much as I thought it was going to today. We want to do this before it passes back. They could top deck some protection. We just don't know what's in the opponent's deck list. So we want to tap that now. We could swing for 7, but look at the opponent's board state. I'm standing by it, dude. We could die. We really, really could die. We'll see what happens. Case hits the Imperiosaur, brings the Hammerskull down to 6. This is well worth the full swing for the opponent. Nurturing Pixie. Wow, I'm surprised by that. Why not grab the case? Oh, okay, I see. I thought they were targeting the Inquisitor. Yep, play case. Pop the Hammerskull. Wow, hey, good game, opponent. I really like that deck list. Mono white aggro. Mono white tokens, maybe? Mono white pixie? There's so many things we could call that. Really cool, man. Yeah. Guys, I feel like we're not going to see the combo. So we're going to play against Sparky. That's what we're going to do. Let's get the Dominion Bracelet set up on a Sparky board state and see what happens. I'm going to pause the recording and get that set up for you guys. Okay. It took a second, but I finally drew the Dominion Bracelet. Let's do it. We got Ghalta on the board. Oh, man. So we equip one to the Ghalta, of course. It's a 13/13 thanks to the Imperiosaur. And then you guys can see here, if you click on Dominion Bracelet, nothing happens. It's just the equip again, right? Because the creature is the one that actually gets that ability here. So it's Ghalta's now a 14/14, by the way, because the bracelet gives a +1/+1. They activate it on the Ghalta, the actual creature, target the opponent, and now we control Sparky for the next turn. So first of all, we're gonna not accidentally kill Sparky here, right? Because I actually want to control to see what it's like. So no attacks. So this is our turn, so we can totally play that land, Sparky. There you go. But then we can swing into our big old chunky creatures. Now, are we able to tap their land? That's the question, right? Let's see if we can like full control and tap their land on their, or I'll put a stop up there in their second main phase too. We can swing with their creatures. Oh yeah, we can totally, but be careful because since they had nothing to play, it went right to combat, right? So put a full control or put a stop or something when you're using the Dominion Bracelet. So you can tap down all of Sparky's mana. That's so mean, bro. And then poor Sparky just helping us test it out here. That's really brutal. If you don't win after a Dominion Bracelet, then I guess the opponent deserved it, huh? They deserved that victory. Good game, Sparky. I think it says a lot that I brought this into a Sparky match to set up the bracelet, right? I think it says a lot about the deck list. But still, I wanted to at least showcase what the deck list was trying to do. I also wanted to see the interaction with the bracelet on the board and everything too, because I haven't really been able to see that. So, yeah. Neat. Okay. Here's the deck list again, guys. I'm still actually on the fence about Garruk's Uprising. There's a problem with it where the deck list is fast enough when it has that balance between ramp and chunky creatures. Usually, the chunky creatures are just going to die. We don't have any protection in here. Standard is very, very powerful. So taking a full turn to establish an Uprising. Now, when it enters, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card. So if you already had some of your other chunky creatures established, which is very likely in this deck list, right? Then at least Uprising replaces itself on the turn it comes down. Now, creatures you control have Trample is actually a really powerful ability for something like this too. And then whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, you draw a card. So now every future giant Imperiosaur that you play, you're also replenishing your hand, getting you one step closer to potentially the combo. I think Garruk's Uprising would be fantastic, but I'm personally not going to do the trading in. Now, guys, I said it the whole video, right? I'm standing by this. It is jank, regardless of how clean some of those victories were, especially early on in the video, right? It should be super duper janky. So put it on the do not craft list. But how expensive is it actually? Let's find out. We have commons. Paleontologist is rare with Primal Might. Uncommons. Mythic, uncommons, rare, 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 rare. And then the mana base, of course, is a bunch of rares as well. Luckily, those can be played in other deck lists too. So just a huge chunk of rares that you really, really just do not want to craft, guys. Don't do it. And then Dominion Bracelet. Yeah, kind of unnecessary. Honestly, just dropping these and going up more dinos or more removal too could be really good. Would be completely fine. Or there you go, the couple Garrick's Uprising as well. But you know, you're taking away part of the heart of the deck list at that point too. I called it Dino Dominion, where we really were trying to do the Ghalta Dominion Bracelet nonsense, but in a lot of those games, if it would have happened, it would have just been winning more at that point, and I think that says a lot about the card too. All right, 23 mana felt fine. Yeah, it was fine. I wouldn't go up any, I wouldn't go down any. A lot of those instances where maybe we needed more mana one game, less mana another game, flooding, not flooding. It's just Magic the Gathering sometimes, and that's what it felt like today. It didn't feel like super significant either direction, so 23 is probably about right. Really like the Primal Might. It made its case today, I would say, really nicely. A one of? Yeah. But again, if you do end up dropping Dominion Bracelet, I'm sounding like you're going to put the deck list together, guys. Again, do not craft this deck list. Maybe if you have all the cards already, it could be pretty fun. Yeah. And you might be able to pull off some clean victories like I did early on in the video too. Anyways, ditching the Bracelet, going up a couple Primal Mights could be good. I could see ditching Bracelet, going up the third Lorekeeper and a second Primal Might. That does seem like it could be all right. The Agonasaur Rex is not enough protection in here, and then if you ever play a 3-mana card, the odds of you having 3 mana open for the cycling to protect that 3-mana card is very, very low, so maybe some protection could go a long way. This is the type of deck list that doesn't need to run Snakeskin Veil. It could actually run the other protection instead that I have no idea what it's called, but it has a role in it. Royal Treatment, yeah. So usually Snakeskin Veil's the protection spell of choice, especially if you're running 4 of them. The counters can stack onto one creature and whatnot too, and the counters matter in a lot of deck lists. In this one, if you just go up like a couple Royal Treatments, you're not really worried about those rolls swapping out. And just having the creature have +1/+1, but also have a ward 1 on it as well. The extra ward could go the extra mile. If like a Hulking Raptor sticks around with that roll, it'll have ward 3, which is kind of no joke. Yeah, it didn't feel as janky as I thought, but yeah, it's definitely janky. I always have a lot of fun with dinos. The next time we will go and try the more, I guess, I don't really want to call it the cliche dino route because we really don't see it very often, but it's usually the route people take with dinos, with the hatcher and the also, yeah, not just the hatcher. You know what I should do? Just type in dino at the top. Trumpeting Connoisseur and Hatcher is usually the route we see with dinos, and the one that was popular before rotation was Jund Dino Reanimator with the other Ghalta, right? The, let's see, Stampede Tyrant, yeah. And I don't think Stampede Tyrant is the right fit for this deck list at all, as well as the other dinos too. But something that could have been cool is this Gigantosaurus. It could be a pretty neat trade-in, potentially, especially since we're just splashing red, and that one mountain won't hold it up too often, but it will hold it up some games for sure. Yeah, next time we visit dinos, we'll go the more, like I said, I guess cliche is the only word I can think of right now. The more cliche route, go the Hatcher, and we'll go for the Connoisseur, and we'll see what we can get done. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? You made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.